To say that I'm disappointed or disgusted with the U.S. Tennis Association and the U.S. Open Tennis Committee is an understatement of my entire 66 years of being on this planet. I've written articles recently after the U.S. Open in New York City about tennis pro and tennis star Jessica Pegula picking up looked like probably a 24-ounce Heineken, doesn't matter if it was 12 ounces or 24 ounces, at a press conference. And then she had the alcoholic attitude of saying, I'm having a beer to soften the loss. My words, not hers. You can get her direct words at the YouTube channel. There's all kinds of her interview on the YouTube channel. But I want to call Jessica out. I want to call the USTA out. I want to call the US Open Tennis Committee out and saying, do you realize the damage that you're calling with this country already struggling with addiction, to have a major tennis star with millions of followers watching her drink a beer and saying during the press conference that she's drinking a beer because she just lost and it's hard to lose. And in other words, she's saying I'm an alcoholic. And how do I know that? Because I was an alcoholic. And those are words I would use. I had a rough day. I need a drink. I had a rough week. I just lost a contract. X didn't fall through for me. I wanted Y and it didn't happen. I was a former alcoholic. Jessica has the tendencies and the words of an alcoholic. Is she one? I don't know. I've never worked with her. But Jessica, if you see this video and you need help, reach out to me. For 43 years, I've helped people get sober. Mainly, though, the problem I'm seeing here is that the USTA and the US Open have fallen victim to greed and money and power because Heineken was one of their sponsors. So if it was a Bud Light that she had in her hands, would they have shown that? I doubt it. What is in the minds of the USTA and the US Open Committee? What is in the minds of the announcers? Listen, I love John McEnroe and all those guys, but what the hell were they thinking? We have a woman with 10, 15-year-old girls and boys that look up to her. I know that to be true. All these major tennis players, all major athletes have people from all over the world looking up to them. But let's say it's a 28-year-old woman watching Jessica who struggles with alcohol. And all of a sudden she sees her major tennis player star drinking a beer during a freaking press conference, for God's sake. She couldn't even wait until after a press conference to have a beer. Those are alcoholic moves. I know it. I used to be one. Again, I want to make this clear. I'm not diagnosing Jessica as alcoholic. I don't know if she's alcoholic or not. She has alcoholic tendencies without a doubt. And everyone is falling victim to greed and power. No one has the balls. The USTA, the US Tennis Association, the US Open Tennis, no one has the balls to stand up and go, we did something wrong. My publicist, TJ Torriello, reached out to them today and asked them for a comment on my article that is now being spread all over the place. I asked TJ to ask them for an apology to the U.S. population for what they allowed to be shown on television. It's amazing what's going on in this world, how much we've lost common sense. You know, can you imagine LeBron James at the end of a loss having a beer and a press conference saying, God, you know, it's hard to lose and I can't handle losing. I have to numb my emotions. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine any other how about Rafa or Djokovic or any of the stars today? If they showed up with a beer at a press conference after they lost, it shows they have no emotional regulation. They have no emotional control. Listen, I know these things. I used to be one of those. I can't imagine that any of these other pros would allow themselves to be seen. And I'm not anti-alcohol at all. I don't care if Jessica Pegula drinks. Who cares if Jessica Pegula drinks? On her own time, not in front of millions of people, especially young, impressionable individuals that look up to these athletes as gods and goddesses. What was she thinking? Jessica, if you're watching this, I would love to know. What were you thinking? And also, Jessica, I think it would be a very appropriate thing for you to send an apology to the U.S. population, to the tennis world, about the choice that you made, the error that you made. It's a total error. When you think about that you are a role model for children and adults, there could be 60-year-olds watching this going, you know, I've been sober for 20 years, but I had a rough day too. I'm going to join Jessica and have a beer. And then God knows what's going to happen. So, Jessica, the U.S. Tennis Association, U.S. Open Tennis Committee, I hope that you'll take this seriously as I am. I hope that you'll look out for our country and put money and sponsorship aside and do what's right. An apology is needed from all three of you, and I hope it happens. I'm David Essel. Have a beautiful day.